Yeah. This is hell. Literally hell. This is hell. I'm being tortured in my own house constantly, 24/7, for over 2 years, 2.5 years now. I called everybody under the sun, the sheriff, the Maine State Police, the FBI. I called the Maine Geological Surveys. Now I have expert witnesses that I'm going to be talking to soon. They might be the only people, but it's very clear here. This is my seismograph data here. This is the past 24 hours. I went to the store today from, here's 13 Eastern Standard Time. I went at like 13:06, so this would be 1300 here. Shit, that was weird. And you can see, but yeah, right here, I don't know, but it's this constant signal here, and take this off, and you can see how strong it is. This is peak to peak. Well, the peaks at, it says negative 5.5, but that's a magnitude, an amplitude of 5.5 times e to the negative 5, and if you go over here, that's 0.37 meters per second of movement that these fuckers are causing in my house, which is a lot higher than acceptable, because here's the peak acceleration, acceptable vibration level is 0.105, but here's the actual velocities, and it says for residential buildings 4 millimeters to 20 millimeters per second, and mine's at 37, because you have to multiply it times 1,000 to convert from meters to millimeters. If you idiots don't know jack shit. It's funny because 37 is the magic number, but I showed the police this yesterday. They finally came to my house, like after years and years of me pleading and begging for them to fucking do something about this. And I fucking call the FBI, tell them that I'm suffering, I'm being tortured constantly, and I'm being oppressed by the police. And she just says, okay, your thing's been documented, and she just like hangs up. Like, nobody offers to come and protect me from crime and, you know, make my house habitable, because nobody should be running this fucking machine. And if you look at this map here, let's see if I'll refresh it. Probably doesn't need to be refreshed, but showing orange. Actually, there it is, yellow. There it is. That's what it typically is, and you see that it's like a high level of movement there, ground motion, and I'm one of two in Maine, and this other guy is next to a freaking highway, and he has less vibration. And so I show the cops this, and they're like, oh, so you're saying that they're experiencing a legal level of vibration? Like, they don't even know the law. The law is you can't create so much noise that it goes from your property onto somebody else's property. That's a local ordinance. It's also reckless. It's also disorderly conduct, recklessly. So that's a state violation, state law violation. And now it's a federal law violation because it's torture. It's been going for 2.5 years, and it won't stop. And it's pervasive, persistent, perpetual, and nobody's helping me. I called every single fucking person under the sun. So I'm literally going through hell, because this is what hell is. Like, you're being tortured and no one helps. So I won't be paying taxes at all when it comes to time to pay taxes, and everyone needs to do that too, because the cops aren't standing up for your rights. They're not protecting law on your behalf. All they're doing is sitting there soaking up taxpayer money. Anytime they do anything, they'll just try to dismiss it. Oh, this paperwork. Look at this. I'm in the middle of the fucking woods. I should not be experiencing any vibrations whatsoever. And this guy has less vibrations than I do. He's right next to a freaking highway. And if you go to other people, let's see. This guy, he has less vibration than I do. He's right next to a freaking highway. So it's like where I'm living in the middle of the woods is comparable to a freaking highway. And it's not that, oh, vibration is illegal. It's if it's just somebody on their own property. And this is constant. Like, it's okay if it's like a car passing by, but this is constant. And I'll show you. Like, I guess you've probably already seen, but here's the live view. It's kind of distorted because this throws it off. But basically, this gets brighter when as this passes by. I could clip it. Let's see. I haven't even used the data filter. But you can see here, it's just, this is 8 Hertz right here, and if I go to this place, I can show you more graphs. Okay. So here is like a spectrum, and here's the intensity. And right here is 10 to the negative 9, which is, let's see, where is it? Here, okay. 10 to the negative 9 is like a quiet home, which is louder than a whisper at a distance of 1 meter. So you call that 20 decibels. So I'm at 30 decibels for this noise. 30 decibels at 8 Hertz, vibrating my floor. And the only time like the cops would come is they leave their cars running outside. They don't ever perform a proper investigation. They have to turn off their cars, which they never do. They have to come inside and just stop and listen, which they never do. And so they actually came in yesterday and they actually did stop and listen, but their cars were running. And then the other guy, he said he heard something, but he blamed it on the cars, which it wasn't. It was actually the torture noise. And then he blamed it on the heater, which my space heater doesn't make any noise whatsoever. It's completely silent. It's just like an oil radiator. So he was just full of shit. Like, he heard it, and I literally have proof right here. Like, oh yeah, I'm feeling something. It's totally just in my head, right? And it's literally right here showing constant 8 Hertz. And that's what I was trying to show you with this here. It's actually kind of, it's more specific, more granular detail within this plot here, but I guess you can see it here. So you can count, here's 10, 9, okay, so it's actually like a 9 Hertz frequency now. Oh yeah, okay, see, now you can see it's gotten louder. 10 to the negative 9 at 9 Hertz. So that's the frequency and that's the amplitude. So it's 30 decibels, constant, all day, all night. There's nothing that would cause that in my house. There's nothing that would cause that on the road. That's on somebody's property, they're running some machine. And it's torturing me. It's a violation of all laws and nobody's coming to protect me. So fuck this country, man. I hope this country fucking dies. Like, the cops, they're supposed to protect you from criminals, and then they're too incompetent to do so. And then I try to protect myself because they can't. I try to defend myself from this heinous crime that's like seriously, severely, causing severe pain mentally and emotionally. So it's like I'm being held down, tortured, and being threatened that if I scream out in pain, that I'll be punished even more. Like, this is literally hell. And there's nobody out there out of 8 billion people on this fucking planet, nobody out there has the compassion to help me. So I'm going to have to pay for an expert witness in Kentucky. He's from Kentucky. It's like $250 an hour, and then like a retainer fee of like, you know, a certain amount. But that's what I got to do, because Maine, everyone in Maine is incompetent, so there's no like expert witnesses in Maine, because everyone's a fucking criminal moron. So legal witness is somebody who has intelligence and integrity, and that's a very rare combination in this entire country. That's why I hate America so much. Look at this, I'm being tortured. You see this? Am I fucking making this up? Like, you see obviously right here, this bright, strong signal at this intensity, 30 decibels, at 37 millimeters per second, as you can see, which I've already shown you here, is far exceeds a residential building criterion limit, or a limit. So this is literally torture, and like nobody's coming to help me. So 37 is like 9 times the minimum here, the lower limit, and still like 1.5 times, over 1.5 times the upper limit. So I'm definitely not crazy. I'm definitely not just sensitive to noise and vibration. This is 2.5 years. I fucking tell the FBI, and they just say, "Oh, it's your information to document it." Hang up. Like, how about offering me some fucking help? What if I told you I was strapped down and all this, like, you know, the most heinous shit, you know, like physical abuse was happening? Oh, then you would probably respond. But this is literally physical abuse, because it's attacking my physiology in order to elicit emotional. It's stress. It's chronic stress. And there's even, like, it's just documented, like, humans are not meant to be continually vibrated, like, their whole fucking body, see? That's why there are limits. And, like, nobody fucking cares about the law. Nobody cares about my health and well-being. I swear to God, this whole fucking, in my entire life, everybody has just wanted me to die. And I think it's because, like, they're fucking sadistic, you know, like, they want to feel good about themselves if other people suffer. Whereas I feel better, like, if everybody's feeling good. That's what comedians, that's why comedians are generally people who have been tortured and traumatized, because they don't want other people to feel like that, or they have compassion, and so they just want to, like, uplift and distract from the fact that life is torturous, because there are people who are demons who only make life worse. And that's what these Mainers are. They're demons. So I can't wait till I get I've already ordered it. Still, I'm just waiting for it. It's coming in the mail eventually, one of these weeks. But my license plate, rod card. See, I keep, like, rocking in my chair. But this is human, like a human behavior. It's just like a short burst. It's not like, oh, I'm just sensitive to noise. Like, this is a constant. It's this 8 hertz, 9 hertz here, and then there's an accompaniment of 14 hertz there. So it's like these two, and then there's also these other frequencies too that chime in. And this is the east. So there's 3 seismometers, or like geophones, and it's basically like a solenoid that has like a core in it that is suspended, or like the coil is suspended. One of the parts is suspended, so that when it experiences a force, it jostles back and forth. So you can get like a strength of the vibration. And so this one's facing towards the east and the west. And this one gets stronger signals than the north and the south. So that tells me that whoever's doing this is on the east or west side of me. So it's causing the more vibration that way. And like I said, I'll do it like this because I'm actually facing east right now as I speak. And my Raspberry Pi is right behind me. Right there. So I just sit here all day completely still, as still as I can be, so I don't throw off this signal here. So I have better signals where I'm not moving around as much. And it also records all night while I'm sleeping. So here's like 5 in the morning here. I was like dead asleep. You can see all this fucking movement. Just going all day, all night. Nobody has any compassion. Look at this. 9 hertz all night. Vibrating my floor. Look at that. 30 fucking decibels. And if you go to somebody else's fucking thing, look, you see how it's like high, like all these frequencies here. This whole frequency band is elevated above 10 to the negative 12, which is, let's see, what does that compare with? 10 to the negative 12 is the threshold of hearing. So there you go. So this is where the 9 hertz is 3 times above the threshold of hearing. So it's not that I'm just sensitive to noise, you fucking pieces of shit. And that's what I was like trying to get them to come so bad, calling everybody like last night and the night before. And then like trying to I have to convince them because they just put up a fight. Like they're so resistant to come and do their job and protect me from crime. Like it's literally conspiracy among the police force to just deny me justice and keep me suffering, and have people and criminals are protected by them, emboldened by them, so they get to continue protecting me or torturing me. While they're protected by the police. So this is the threshold of hearing, and that's what all these are above here, all these frequencies. And then the 9 hertz is 3 times above the threshold of hearing. That's over here. It actually goes above that sometimes. And the vibration is, like I showed you, way higher than limits, and like nobody is coming because they don't know. If I can just point, say, hey, they're doing it, that's all they need, and then they'll make them stop, maybe. But right now they've built up this whole case, like, so that's like I was trying to say, like I've been pleading, and they're just so resistant to defend me and vindicate me, right? Because for years they just like dismiss me, like, oh, just deal with it, oh, it's just in your head, oh, you're just sensitive, oh, we went there. Like they never came here, and they just say they came in the neighborhood without any proof whatsoever, and they just claim they didn't hear anything. But if you're in a building, you can hear it because it vibrates the ground and the walls. If you're outside, it's not vibrating that. So I don't live outside, I live inside. So you have to come inside, and that's part of doing an investigation. They didn't do that this whole fucking time until yesterday, November 28th. So they're oppressing me, they're leaving me to suffer. And it's conspiratorially, it's discriminatory, it's inhumane. It's still fucking going, just constantly. I can feel it. See this? And nobody's fucking coming. Can somebody out there, I'm asking for help. Can somebody out there please help me? Can somebody please help me? Can somebody please help me? Call the FBI, tell them I'm being tortured, tell them I'm severely suffering, I'm in severe pain, mental anguish. I'm being abused, neglected, oppressed, tortured. I'm in hell. I mean, is everybody that sadistic that I'm begging and pleading for help, and they just won't help me because they like my suffering? If I could, I would just go to the houses, but they're all on private roads. That's why I need the police to intervene on my behalf. But they're too incompetent, and they're discriminating against me for so long. They refuse to ever come. They just lie to me. And then they're too incompetent to even understand this. Like, if they really cared about upholding the law, they would know how to use a seismograph, they would have a seismograph, they would be using it. But instead they just throw their hands up and say, oh, we can't hear it. So it's all up to me. I gotta do everything on my own. I'm already fighting for justice in other ways, in other cases. And now I can't do any of that because I'm being tortured. And like, nobody's helping me stop being tortured. So I have to do that too. So I'm being distracted. So it's just like really detrimental to my life because I have other important, urgent shit to do. But I'm being constantly tortured. And I'm begging and pleading for it to stop it. To every single fucking person. That's why I'm uploading this right now. To every single person, 7 billion people. Please have this translated in Chinese. Have anyone please help me. It's as if I'm like in Guantanamo Bay prison or some shit, and somebody in like the FBI is torturing me because like they're in on it. Like nobody's intervening, nobody's coming and like looking at the evidence and just going to. It's just somebody around my property line. There's not that many people, and I'm pretty sure it's one asshole who has like this long road that stretches from the main road, and like out of all the people, his road goes and like approaches my property, and that's where like the noise seems to be coming from, and all they have to do is just go down that road. But they're just too stupid, man, and too lazy, and they're too discriminatory, and they're too sadistic. So once I find out who this is, I'm gonna sue the shit out of them. I'm gonna sue the shit out of the state of Maine. I'm gonna sue the shit out of the FBI. I'm gonna sue the shit out of the sheriff's office. I have like basically it's a tort claim. They're just leaving me to suffer. I've been complaining, and they've just been discriminating against me. Literally, like yesterday, I was like, "Come, please come, help me," and they were like, "Oh, do you want us to take you to the hospital?" That was their initial reaction. You know, that was their solution. They're trying to say that this is a medical issue, and it's clearly environmental. I even contacted EPA. There's an environmental protection officer as well, a local one. So I contacted everyone under the fucking sun. Now I'm contacting everyone and their mother. So please, like, I'm being tortured. Let this video go viral. The US government is letting a veteran be tortured by criminals. This has been going on for 2.5 years now. I've had the seismograph for 4 days. It's been showing a constant 8 hertz signal this entire time. This entire time. Somebody's running something on their property, and it's torturing me. Please help me. What do you fucking not understand? Help me understand what you don't understand, because I need help with this constant torture. Please make it stop. Like, what the fuck, people? Help me. Like, what the fuck? Like, if you're seeing somebody who's tied up and they're being whipped every single day, all day, wouldn't you fucking like call somebody and report it and have somebody like intervene? That's literally what it's like. I'm being whipped by noise. The air is torturing me. The floor is torturing me. I can't hover in the air, and I can't just like constantly cover my ears. I need to be able to live peacefully in my own house. Can somebody please help me in this whole world? I haven't even like been angry or, you know, inciting violence. That's why I took those other videos down. I want to turn over a new leaf and change my tone a little bit, because now I have the seismograph that proves that I'm being constantly subjected to noise and vibration at a high intensity. And it's not that I'm sensitive to noise. I can tolerate, you know, intermittent pulses that are natural with human activity. This is not natural. This is somebody using a machine to torture me. And the FBI is in on it, the police are in on it. Because this didn't happen until July 2021. I've been here, I moved in here November 2020. So I had 9 months of peace and happiness. And then as soon as I told the cops, the Maine State Police, I showed them my ID because some asshole was stalking me, so that I showed them my ID and then they learned where I lived. And then that's right when the torture, exactly the very next day. And I recognized it immediately. It's a torture noise that I was experiencing in a different city in a different house. But it was only right until the Maine State Police learned my address, and so that's why they're not intervening. And the Maine State Police are lying to me. I call them and then they say "Oh, we're not covering that area tonight." Every single time I call. But then when I go out and use my voice and beg and plead for someone to stop the noise, then there are Maine State Police that come, and they've come 3 times with two officers. But whenever I call, and this is literally severe mental pain and anguish and torture and suffering and disorderly conduct, they never come. So I'm being discriminated against, oppressed, and tortured, and abused and neglected, and I'm sick of it. There's got to be somebody out there who can help me, right? So just to compare, we'll just pick a random one. This is some random somebody else's, and they're showing a weird, okay, that's not a reliable thing. Okay, here's some constant frequencies, but you can see they're really fine. And let's see what intensity they're at. So this is just a random one. I can also see where this is located. Alright. So yeah, this is the same thing. This goes up to the same amplitude. What the fuck is going on? So that's why I need an expert witness to verify what the hell is going on. Am I interpreting this correctly? Okay, so this person is over here. Yeah, see, they're next to a freaking highway, man. But I'm in the middle of the woods. So they would be experiencing constant vibration. So I'll try to pick somebody who's not next to a freaking roadway. These are all next to roadways. Alright, let's see. So someone who's in the red or orange, okay. Alright, so here's somebody who's actually next to a fucking roadway, so let's see what they're looking like. No, their data's fucked up. What the heck? That's a weird dot right there. Alright, let's see what's going on here. Alright, so yeah, showing velocity here, micrometers, and then to millimeters, so that would be 0.3 millimeters per second squared. But I'm not really sure what they mean by ground motion. Desired range less than 0.5. What does that mean, desired range? Desired in what regard? So yeah, it's 0.6 millimeters per second squared. And this shows, this says here that, right here, yeah, so I'm at points, oh, that's, okay, so that's still actually, that's 15 millimeters per second squared. What was I at? So the ground actually kind of feels different right now. Let's see.